right, and we're live. Natalie and I, this is our first attempt at doing a podcast. So today's episode, I thought would be fun to reminisce about how Natalie and I got together.
Yeah.
And our first, I don't know, how we hooked up in the first place. How
I made your life magical.
You know, we were talking about this in the car, just saying what we were going to say during the podcast. And I said, you know what? I've been doing magic since I was 7. All this stuff going on in my life. But Wes Iseli's Magiclife, just the thought of it started when I met you.
No,
but it's true. Sweet. It's true. So I was a magician in a restaurant when Natalie met me. I was doing 9 restaurants 6 days a week. And I had an option, if I didn't have any shows on a Sunday morning, that I could go in and do magic on Sunday mornings as well. Which also gave me, the Saturdays and Sunday afternoons to do shows. So I was hopping when I first met Natalie. And Natalie, what were you up to back then?
I was going to James Madison University, and I was waitressing at the same time. So, just, in college, waitressing for some money to pay for books, apartment, all that jazz, to live the college life.
And she was going to college for?
Religion. I was getting a religion degree. I didn't know what I wanted to do, so it seemed interesting, and I had bounced back and forth through a few things at first. And then I didn't know what I wanted to do. I figured, well, I'll just get a religion degree. It seems interesting. And
yeah, a lot of people don't know that you have a religion degree. So that's pretty awesome. Whenever I have questions about religion, I'm like, Natalie, did you know that? Yeah, well, we studied that. We went to a mosque and did that, or we did this, or yeah, I had a professor that believed that. He was a nut. I love all those stories.
Yeah, there's some interesting... I had some interesting professors. I'd say 99% of them I loved. I can only think of one that really kind of wasn't that awesome. But, it is what it is.
Well, back then I was dating a lot. I had just broken up with a girl a couple weeks prior to even asking Natalie out. And when we got together, she was calling and saying to take me back and things like that and crying. And Natalie's like, are you sure you guys are broken up?
Yeah, I told him later that I was amazed that we stayed together, because I was like, you had this girl calling you all the time, wanting you to go on dates with her and boo-hooing and this, that, and the other thing. And it's like, I stayed. I could have totally taken that as a red flag, but naive me. But it worked out well.
Well, after all these years, you realize what she was missing.
Oh, is that what it is?
I'm such a stud. But I didn't even know Natalie'd be a girlfriend. When we first started even talking in the restaurant, I come in, I show up just for a couple hours a night, and then I'm out of there. So I only saw her, once a week, twice a week. And I could joke around with Natalie. Natalie was fun. She was pretty.
Aww,
she was way tall, but she was fun to be around. And I was like, well, I'm single. I'd like to go out to dinner. Let me ask Natalie out. But the height difference, I really didn't think that we'd end up boyfriend-girlfriend. I'm 5'5", she's 5'10". 5 inches doesn't sound like a lot, but to put it in perspective, whenever I give her a hug, her boob is in my ear. So that tells you right there. That 5 inches, I don't know how, because that doesn't seem like 5 inches.
And that's normal for a guy to be that much taller than the girl, but for the girl to be taller isn't normal. It's usually the other way around. So, but I thought he was cute, and I figured, hey, he asked me out, free dinner, why not? But we ended up having a good time. Right?
Well, I was trying to woo you a lot in that restaurant, though, for those weeks leading up to me asking you out.
That's true. When we were
I was trying hard.
Yeah, it was sweet. It was cute. He made balloon animals along with doing magic at the restaurant. So, do you want a balloon animal? At the time, I thought they were cute. Now I'm fairly sick of them. But at the time, they were new and neat. And I was like, sure. And he was like, well, do you have roommates? And I lived with 3 other girls in my apartment. And I was like, yeah, I have three roommates. Well, I'll make you balloons for them. And it was like every night I was leaving with these armfuls of balloons. My roommates absolutely loved them. They thought they were neat too, you know, because none of us, it was all new and none of us had seen that kind of thing very much. So it was neat to get. And then one time he was telling me about his, what do you call it, background? Your sideshow background.
Oh, yeah.
And nailing nails up his nose. He was telling me about that. And I was like, ooh, that's weird. He's like, I can do it now. No, there's no nails. I can do it with a toothpick.
I can do it with anything. I used to be able to do it with spoons. I can still do it with a spoon or a fork.
He took a toothpick, and I'm assuming, to this day, I assume he figured it was clean. But it wasn't. He nailed the toothpick up his nose, and he just started crying, and found out that it had seasoning salt all over it.
It had been used to hold a club sandwich together, and it was on a plate. I knew they didn't put it in their mouth, but I didn't know they'd rub seasoning salt all over it. So my eyes were watering.
It was interesting, to say the least, but it made me chuckle.
Well, and making balloons for this cute girl, balloons are nothing. It's something that I can do with my eyes closed. It cost me a nickel. It's nothing. But it gave me a reason to talk to her. It gave me a reason to be near her more. Aww. Do you want another balloon animal? You want another one? And it gave me another 30 seconds to hang out with her. And then watching her leave at nighttime with 500 balloons. It was, I don't know, it was cute. And then not only making balloon animals, but showing her magic tricks and joking around with her and trying to come up with stuff to joke around with her. Yeah. That was my way of wooing you. Yeah. I was pulling out all the stuff.
Apparently it worked.
It did. Well, and then finally I asked you out, but I don't feel like that was a Saturday. I feel like that was like was that a Thursday night?
I think we went out on a Thursday. I think it ended up being, because I worked a very limited schedule. I think I worked like Wednesdays and Fridays and Saturdays or something like that. And I think you asked me out on a Wednesday night, and it was slowing down. And it was cute because I was sitting down, my shift was almost over, and he came up to me, he was looking down in his hands, and he had a pocket knife, and he was rubbing the logo off of a Sharpie marker, and he looked a little nervous, and I was like, what's going on? And he was like, well, I don't know, as he's scrubbing this logo off the Sharpie marker. I was just curious if you'd like to, maybe if I could take you out to dinner maybe tomorrow night or something. And I thought it was so sweet. And all those magazines at the time, even now, they tell you, just don't tell them yes right away. Go have to check your calendar. Do all this game stuff that you have to play these games to make them think you're so busy that you can't go out with them. But he was so cute, and I wasn't into doing that kind of thing. So I was, sure, I'm wide open. So we ended up going out on our first date the next night. And I called my mom to tell her I had a date with a cute guy. And it was funny because I prefaced it with, don't laugh, Mom. Because he's a little shorter than me. And what does she do? She just laughs out loud. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Because I always said I will never date a guy that's shorter than me. That just won't happen. And then here I am going out with on a date with a guy that's shorter than me. And then on top of that, I didn't know how to pronounce his last name. So she was like, well, what's his name? His name's Wes. And what's his last name? I don't know. Honey, you are doing this wrong. You need to figure out his last name before you go into... Mom, I don't know how to say it. It starts with an I. Like, I didn't know how to say it.
Iseli?
It's something, I don't know. I'll figure it out tomorrow. I'll let you know. So, but I just thought that was funny.
Well, when we went to Outback Steakhouse that night. Mm-hmm. And we had a great time. But when we sat down at the table, all that height thing went away because we were looking each other right in the eyes. You weren't a foot taller than me at that point. And I was like, whoa. And then we just talked and we had a great time like we'd known each other for years.
Yeah.
We really hit it off. And like I said, I was dating a lot. So I had a lot of awkward dates. I had a lot of dates where you were trying to pull stuff out of it. So what does your family do?
Yeah.
Or, they couldn't talk magic. They couldn't talk about the entertainment industry or anything like that. They could talk about, doing nails and doing hair or something like that. And I couldn't talk about any of that stuff. So
conversation flowed easily.
it did.
It was a good date. And I hadn't dated that much before, but I thought it was a good date. I didn't have nearly the experience you had.
It was a good date, I'll tell you.
Okay.
It was a good date.
I thought so.
But when I sat down and looked at her eye to eye, it took me off guard. I'm like, whoa, wait, this chick's all legs. I never noticed in the restaurant garb you wore. I just saw tallness. Those waitress outfits aren't flattering anyway.
No,
they're the worst.
Yeah, they are. But yep, all leg. That's why I can't find pants easy. Got to find those talls and extra talls that nobody sells.
Didn't somebody give us a website recently for you to go check out? For tall and big feet?
Hey, that's mean.
For a lady, you have big feet.
Yeah, well, I'm tall.
Okay, but I mean...
I don't... please remember it.
Yes, if you're listening to this and you know a website for ladies with big feet and long legs, you please send it to us. You can email me at wesisley@gmail.com and just put it in the subject. This is the website for the big feet and the long legs.
I swear, it's a good thing I've gotten over my insecurity of my big feet. Golly. I used to be very insecure about that, mister.
No,
I'm just
you're
yelling
fine.
it out there. Big feet.
You're fine.
But I do need...
bigger shoes.
No, shoes are actually... It's not as easy to find, but it's easier than tall pants. Nobody sells tall pants in a store where you can try them on anymore. You have to order them. But even then, there's not much to choose from. Or at least that I can find. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking in the wrong places. Who knows?
I don't know, but if you know anybody that sells short pants, I'd like that website too. I always have to cut off 4 inches of the bottom of mine.
We have the opposite problems. Golly.